Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Omega Files. I'm your host, Dr. Freedom, and once again we've gathered here on a lovely Saturday, well, a lovely Saturday if you're somewhere in the tropics, to discuss various issues going around the sci-fi community, because there's a couple other things I want to bring up besides Doctor Who this week. Joining me this week on the podcast is Nightwing.
It's not very nice over here. It's dark.
And I think, Vil, is that you on the keyboard again?
Yeah, that's me on the keyboard.
Okay. Phillip?
Good evening, everyone.
All right. Ryan?
Hello, this is the Omega Files time traveler here.
All right. The Fezman.
Hello.
And, of course, Mr. What's Rosswell. How you doing?
Hello, how you guys doing?
My gosh, man. It's been a crazy, crazy week here, and I just can't believe it. The last, 48 hours were pretty interesting, and I can't believe I actually... What's that? Anybody hear that?
Yep, I can hear
Yeah, I
it.
can hear that.
I wonder what... Wait, what's causing that?
I think it's trying to communicate.
Oh, that's right, I forgot somebody.
Oh, it's the master. Hello,
Maybe
master.
it's Eric the Dalek.
Hey, Andrew, how you doing? What is that, a vacuum cleaner? Andrew is the
My
head
logic
network.
tips.
Somebody's having fun with their Hoover.
Okay.
Is this to do with my laptop again? Is it?
Okay, I don't know, but it sounded like you were locked in a laundry room or something. Okay, joining us, if technical difficulties permit, is Mr. C. Andrew Nelson. You there, Andrew? Okay, I guess his headset ain't working yet. The wonders of Windows. What the heck is that?
I have no idea. Something's there.
He can hear us, but he
You
can't.
can't talk.
Yeah.
No.
Well, what happened was he was trying to install a new Bluetooth headset.
Hasn't he got a mic, like a normal mic?
Yeah, but he was trying to install a Bluetooth headset with a mic, and apparently it's not. He thought he had it working, but I guess not.
What's going to happen then? Are we...
Hang on. I'm going to see what he wants to do.
It's not my laptop again, is it? That's causing problems. I hope.
I don't know what that was. It sounded like you were being run over by a vacuum cleaner.
Well, that's one vicious vacuum cleaner.
The atomic powered variety. Huh?
I think I'll just stick to my Dyson.
Okay, I'm back. Can anybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, they're kind of close to surprise, but yeah, joining us from California. Yeah, joining us live from California is Mr. C. Andrew Nelson, who is Darth Vader from 1994 on. And
Gentlemen.
Heads
Sorry
full
about that. I kind of got caught in
should
the
be
vortex.
known
I'm sure this will matter.
Vader.
Yes.
so how have things been going out there, Andrew?
It's been a little hectic. Working on a few little projects, but otherwise, I can't complain.
Oh, same here. A lot of little weird things going on here on this end, but I can't complain either. Have you been keeping up with the... have you heard anything about Star Wars Episode 7?
Little bits here and there, one hears things. And then, of course, I pick up some of it off of your videos there, Dr. Freedom, and all of the stuff you post on Facebook. So, I'm grateful for that.
So are you looking forward to Pixar Wars?
I don't know if that's what it's going to end up being like. The one thing that I think is encouraging for me is that they're going to go back and J.J. Abrams is insisting that he's going to shoot the films on film, not on high-def video, which I think is a good thing. I
haven't heard that. That's cool.
Yes, they're going to shoot them all there because when I was working at Industrial Light and Magic, that was one of the big bones of contention for us was that the footage that we got, especially off of Episode 2, when we had the early digital cameras, there was a lot of strange artifacting, and it was very difficult to work with some of that footage. So, I mean, things have gotten better since then, but I'm really encouraged that he's going to go old school on this and shoot on film.
And is there no IMAX?
If you can just keep the lens flares to a minimum, I'll be happy.
Is there? Is
Go ahead. What was that, Fez?
is it going to be in IMAX?
I have no idea.
You know, there is one good thing about having J.J. Abrams directing it. I actually did think of something good about that. Because if Palpatine does somehow pop up in another body or whatever, he can say, "The lens flare blinds you."
Yes.
I honestly,
Oh, go on ahead, Nightwing.
I don't know what to say because I'm talking to a legend.
I'm a minor legend. I'm
He's
not.
a legend.
He's still a legend. He's still a legend in my eyes.
Well, yeah, the one topic I wanted to bring up before we get into the Doctor Who stuff was the fact that, yeah, this morning's article that popped up, it popped up actually the other day on Hollywood Reporter, is the fact that they're going to discount the expanded universe. I'm going to start with Andrew and go around with everybody on this. What do you think about that? You know, good idea, bad idea?
I figured that's what he was going to do all along anyway. Having worked within the Lucas companies for about 12 years, the expanded universe was always there, but it was never considered true canon. And I knew that unless it was in the films themselves or in the Clone Wars series, it wasn't considered canon. In fact, I didn't even know until just recently that even Clone Wars was considered canon. But I don't have a problem with that because I think it can still exist. The way that they've done it is they can still borrow elements from the expanded universe when they want to, but they don't have to be beholden to it. So I don't have a problem with it. I know there are a lot of people who are just having conniption fits over, oh, you can't do that because, this happened and that happened and you're throwing all this stuff away. And it's like, well, it's not your toys. They were George's toys. Now they're Disney's toys and they can play with them how they want to. So
I figured out what I'd love to do for Episode 7. If they were to do this right, you would have this fledgling order, which I'm sorry, they might call themselves Jedi, but they're not. They're allowed to have attachments. They're not Jedi. And then all of a sudden, this ancient, like 50,000-year-old ship comes out from well beyond the Outer Rim, and it's Sith purebloods from an arm of the Sith Empire that survived way the hell out there.
Now that would be interesting. I would find that very interesting. I mean, and I'm a guy that actually helped create part of this expanded universe, through the games at LucasArts and things like that. I worked on Shadows of the Empire. I worked on the Dark Forces and Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight games. And I always thought it would be great if they would do a television series based on the Dark Forces games, following the adventures of Kyle Katarn. But, they'll do what they want to do, and hopefully it'll be good.
See, I look at it as both, it's good because it takes, the shackles off the writers, but at the same time, there were so many great characters that were introduced in the expanded universe, like Admiral Thrawn,
Yes.
Mara Jade, Talon Card, and, I really love it if they could still show up somehow, but, you never know. Hey, let's ask, Ross, what do you think about the plans for Star Wars 7?
I'd not really minded to just go off, just leave the expanded universe alone, because in a way that's already set and that story's kind of always been told. They can now go off and retell that story in a different way, and it doesn't really bother me at all. I quite like the idea.
All right. Fez?
Well, I can understand why they sort of want to go off on their own way, because, George Lucas, he never really, he didn't really have a say in the expanded universe, did he? They were just other people's ideas.
Yeah, it was
everything went through, approval by George Lucas and the board of directors of Lucasfilm. But it's not like he sat there and read every book and every script and everything that was sent in. No, I don't think.
Hard to see the profit margin is.
Okay, hang on, Fez, you want to continue?
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, well, at least because with, like, the Thrawn trilogy, like, for people at Revan, like, if they sort of base on a map, people will sort of guess what's going to happen. But if they sort of, like, do their own stories, it might be unpredictable as well, so, like, we could be in for some surprises.
Exactly. That's what I liked about the fact they are doing it.
I got one more thing. At least the good news is we won't kill off Chewbacca.
Yes.
Yeah, because there's already a rumor going around Peter Mayhew may have been contacted, but the poor guy, he's in pretty rough shape. He just had to have knee surgery this past.
Actually, no, he's in great shape.
Covered
I know Peter pretty well, and he's recovered. It's amazing. He's actually walking around without his walking stick now, and so he's doing fantastic. It's a surgery that that he's talked about doing for a long time, and then he finally did it, and he's recovered incredibly well.
Oh, that's great to hear. Yeah. I've been meaning to go check up on his Twitter, see how he's been doing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great news.
Great guy. Now, I can neither confirm nor deny if he's involved, but he's in good shape. Let's put it that way.
Okay, just ask one more thing.
Go ahead.
Well, it's been rumored that Michael Fassbender's been in for Star Wars, and I would really like him to play a character that's based on Thrawn. If we're not going to have any characters involved, I really loved him to be like an Imperial officer. I think he'd be pretty good, but with him being an X-Men, I don't know if he'd be allowed to do it with the contract. But he's another actor really liking to be in Star Wars.
Yeah, Fassbender's a really busy guy. Yeah. He's really in demand.
Yeah.
I was going to add on that. Yeah, you'd have to be as old as Yoda to read all of the expanded universe.
Yeah, exactly.
It's literally that much other between. Heck, I remember all the way back to when I was in high school. You had Han Solo's Revenge. You had all that stuff out, and it's just so much of it. Okay.
Sounds like a job for Julian Assange Ventress.
Okay, Ryan, what do you think about not including the expanded universe? Good idea, bad idea?
Well, personally, I've never really known much about the expanded universe. I know bits and pieces, different characters and all that, but as a whole, my love of Star Wars is from the movies, and so really for me, them not bothering with the expanded universe has no real effect on me, as I never really got into it.
All right. Phillip?
Just as Ross said, I've never really gone into the expanded universe, but I think because it's Disney's first little throw at it, they're going to start small and work their way out. So I don't think they can totally discount it. It will come along eventually when they feel that they can involve it, but not for now.
All right. Now I know what Vil thinks. Go on ahead, Vil.
Yeah, I am not really a fan of most of the expanded universe at all because, well, hell, it's so contradictory. I've read books where it was like at least centuries since the Jedi were wiped out. And by the way, this is stories with Han Solo in them. And, just with the inconsistencies and everything, it kind of drove me nuts. And then you had certain rules being broken, like the Force binds everything together, but somebody tell that to the Yuuzhan Vong because the Force doesn't bind them together. So yeah, I'm not missing much of it, and if getting rid of the expanded universe at least in terms of being canonical, means that they can put out good stories, great, and I think that from what I've heard about who's writing it, that's fantastic. But, I'm kind of worried because I don't trust J.J. Abrams any further than I can throw the Great Pyramid of Giza, and since the Force, unfortunately, doesn't work for me, and I've tried... I'm
imagining you out there in front of the pyramid, trying to use your force power to levitate it.
Well, I'll tell you this: if I ever got telekinesis, I would dress up in Sith robes, and during rush hour traffic, I'd be flinging cars and laughing like in that scene when he's fighting with Yoda.
My biggest fear was they'd have a crossover where, suddenly you had Mara Jade and Luke Skywalker wind up in the TARDIS and they have a Time Lord Jedi baby.
Hey, I'll get right back into the call. I need to check with my client. I might have some work. I'll be right back.
All right, we'll let you read it.
If I want to, can I just add one little thing there? What Vil said about the writers. The one thing that's encouraging, and I'm very leery of J.J. Abrams too. When he's good, and when he's bad, it's a Star Trek film. And in my opinion, I like the first Star Trek film he did. The second one, I was just absolutely ready to throw things at the TV screen by the end of the film. But what's encouraging is that Lawrence Kasdan is involved in the new movies. Maybe not directly involved in the first film, not writing the script for it, but he is involved in the storylines for all the films that they're working on. And for me, he is the one that took Star Wars, took what George created, and elevated it to the mythos, the level that it's at now. And so that part is encouraging. So I don't have a problem with them taking the expanded universe. I think Disney is very clever in what they're doing. Is they're taking the expanded universe and they're going to rebrand it as Star Wars Legends, so that maybe it's real, maybe it's not. It's the stuff of Legends. So
all I know is it's going to mess with those guys who wrote that role-playing game.
Oh gosh, yes.
I still have my copy here from when I used to play it. Oh yeah, Lady Gallifrey wants to say hello to you, Andrew, by the way.
Hi, Andrew.
Hello there, fair lady. How are you?
Okay.
Okay, Nightwing, what do you think about them not including the expanded universe, or did you get much into Star Wars?
No, I love Star Wars. Star Wars is awesome. Let me just say, I'm kind of okay with them not including the expanding universe, just because of how bad Force Unleashed 2 did. I'm not kidding. Force Unleashed was terrible. So I'm kind of happy that they're not including the.
I kind of.
I've played games. I've read some of the stories about that Han and Leia's children. I haven't read a lot, but I do know a little bit about the expanded universe. So I'm kind of happy that Disney are going down the route of keeping it canon, and discarding all the
I don't care how
the stuff.
Sit on that side.
Hey, Bill. You aren't talking to your cat, are you?
She keeps trying to sit between me and the door, and I keep trying to make her sit on the other side, and she doesn't like being moved.
I can hear her complaining. Yes.
Yeah, they are the true Force users of our universe, by the way.
Yeah, they're like Watto. The Force doesn't work on them. Cats. You can't use the Force on cats.
I think they use it on us, from my experience with them over the years.
Yes.
You will get me the treats.
This is the bag of food that you will open.
The tuna. Open it now.
Food ball's 3/4 of the way full. I'm starving.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, when you tell a cat no, they look at you and it's treason then.
We don't tell ours no because they yell back.
Your powers are weak, old man.
What worries me even more than anything is the fact that they're going to code 66 us one of these days.
Yeah. Note, I'm glad that one of the surviving characters out of the Clone Wars was Ventress, because I liked her.
Yeah, I did as well. She's brilliant.
I'm hoping she...
That tarantula guy from one of the first series was cool.
I am hoping, we'll hear something about Ventress. I really liked her character as well.
And don't forget that Anakin's little apprentice survived by virtue of getting drummed out of the Jedi Order, which means she can come along, whack Luke upside the head and say, what you're training are not Jedi, and oh yeah, by the way, I apprenticed under your dad.
Oh yeah, Ahsoka. Yeah.
I suspected in their closing statement when Anakin said that he'd considered leaving and she said, I know, I think that she knew about him and his wife the whole time.
Also,
maybe there wasn't a true Jedi purge. Maybe they're all lost, hidden somewhere, like the Time Lords.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It's cool. It's cool.
If
I'm
Moffat
trying to provide you a segue, Dr. Freedom. So,
It's cool that
gets his hands
Grievous
on this, it's bad.
character.
Hang on, what was that, Nightwing? You wanted to add something?
It was cool that Grievous got some sort of character development in the Clone Wars, because, you know, he only lasted one part of a movie.
Oh, yeah. Plus, they had had the animated one out long before they had the computer animated one, and they actually explained why Grievous chokes and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
I got all
He
that
was-
to the wayside.
because he doesn't chew enough. That's the problem. And you got to chew his food more.
I don't know, Grievous should have had more character development. I don't know, I like that character.
Yeah. Don't get me started on Grievous.
Yeah, what had happened was...
Come on, again, am I the only one that actually likes Grievous? It's like when we did the discussion on the Absorbaloff. I'm the only one that likes Grievous.
I
like Grievous because he's a douchebag.
Hang on, Lady Gallifrey wanted to add something?
I just said I get all you guys started by saying I like Jar Jar Binks.
Oh,
No.
Stop
That's where we draw the line. That's where we draw the line.
Hey, I have 2 shirts with Jar Jar on it, so
I honestly don't. I don't have a problem with Jar Jar.
Okay,
I
how many
Neither
bullet
do
holes
I.
are in that shirt?
No,
He's a happy man.
What was that, Bill?
I asked how many bullet holes are in that shirt.
and the old one from where Louie got it, our cat.
Yeah, she's got 3 holes, but she's got a few holes in it from where the cat got it, so even the cat figured it out.
I-
It says on there,
Even Jar
"Never
Jar
go full retard."
Yeah, she has a shirt with Jar Jar Abrams. Sorry, I said Jar Jar.
Yes,
Jar Jar Binks.
we have coined a new one.
See, that's
I
been
think
going around the community.
Praise there.
Jar Jar Abrams.
Yeah, that's been going around the community quite a bit since he took over, Jar Jar Abrams.
I think I need a shirt with that on it.
Yeah, she has a shirt that's Jar Jar Binks, and it has the saying from Tropic Thunder. It says, "Never go full retard."
And everybody that sees that shirt loves it.
Yep. All right, so now that we've passed through that, and we've also been run over by vacuum cleaners and attacked by Skype as well. Oh, pretty kitty. Yeah, too bad the guys who are listening to this won't see that. But all right. Now we're going to segue into Doctor Who. Now, as far as I know, yeah, they're going off to film in Lanzarote, Spain this week. I'm not sure if it's going to actually start this week or if they're still setting up. But one of the things that happened this past weekend, and I didn't get a chance to really touch on it because we were doing the audio review, and I thought it was something maybe we should just run over while we have the chance, is that last weekend on the 19th was the 3rd anniversary of the passing of Liz Sladen.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go around the panel, just to, give everybody a chance, and maybe, bring up a memory of theirs. They remember fondly of Liz on, Doctor Who or Sarah Jane Adventures or just anything that comes to mind. So I'm going to start with Nightwing this time, go back the other way around.
School reunion. That's the first memory I have of Sarah Jane.
Okay, what did you think coming in, to the universe, because I remember you started with the new.
Yeah, like very early on too. Yeah.
Okay, what did you think about, when you first saw Sarah Jane Smith pop up on the screen?
I liked her, because we've all had younger companions. It was nice to see an older woman. I actually, it took me some time to realise who she was. But from what I got from the episode, I realised that she was an ex-companion.
Okay, plus you also got introduced to K9 in the episode.
Yeah. And plus the Sarah Jane Adventures, that was really good. I really liked that series.
I know, I still miss that series as well, because, it was a spin-off. Hint, hint, you people at the BBC. Spin-off.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. It was good that, apparently, it was nice to hear that Sophie Aldred and Tom Baker were apparently going to be appearing.
Plus, I have to mention this, or Doctor Who man will have in my head, the fact we had Nicholas Courtney pop up in Sarah Jane Adventures as well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Tom Baker was going to appear?
Yes.
There was a chance that he was going to appear, and Sophie Aldred also.
As the Doctor?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thinking about Sophie.
Yes.
As the fourth Doctor.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah,
Awesome.
let me just say that, for those kids that worked with Elisabeth Sladen on the Sarah Jane, they're very lucky people.
Yeah.
They certainly
because-
are.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, everything I've heard, from, when that happened and when she did pass and all that, they really, really missed her to death. Plus, they learned so much from her, and she learned so much from them, and, it was
Plus, they have gone on to bigger things as well. A lot of them are still in the BBC.
poor child. Well, at least, they're still working, but I'm just saying, the BBC, poor child.
Yeah.
Okay, Phil, could you name off some fond Sarah Jane, memories for us?
Well, I'm thinking back to the first time that I ever came upon Sarah Jane, and if I remember right, I was wearing a white-haired model at the time. Couldn't pass that one up. I think for me, of course, school reunion's an obvious one, but I like to think back to her appearance in Genesis of the Daleks. That, I think, was honestly my favorite story with her.
Oh, yes, I really loved her in that one. She went through so much in that episode, that character.
Yeah, I had thought the first time that I saw Genesis of the Daleks, now that's going back a while, and I didn't know as much about the show, so that first time that I saw it was perfect, because I honestly thought that she was going to bite the bullet.
I know. I thought for sure there might be a companion death, but, then again, I should have known better, because I didn't get into the series till way later when it finally got around to popularity here in America on the PBS stations. All right. Now, Phillip, we all know what happened when you met Sarah Jane.
I knew you'd mention that. Yep. Yeah, that was back in 1975 at the Prime Minister's house, 10 Downing Street, with Tom Baker at the time, and I was very overawed with it. And she shared a chocolate cake with me and had a little chat. Had pictures taken with her and Tom. But like I say, but my favourite memory of her in Doctor Who would be in her famous Annie Pandy suit. I loved her in that.
Oh,
And-
and the fear.
Yeah, and she's a lovely woman. Even when the day that we discovered, I didn't even realise she was that ill when she passed away. She didn't look that ill, even in the Sarah Jane Adventures. It wasn't well known that she was ill, so I was quite surprised by that.
No, there was literally, I could probably count on one hand how many people actually knew her illness. She was that private of a person. Yeah.
Mostly just be her family and probably RTD.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, she pretty much kept it to herself. Nobody even suspected a thing. Like I said, that's why it really knocked the wind out of me when she went so quickly and so unexpectedly.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. By the way, Andrew, if you haven't caught it, you know what happened when Phil met Sarah Jane and Tom, right?
No, I don't.
No.
He peed himself. But
Yeah, that did happen.
Who
I was so overexcited that I wet myself, and it was like, oh my god.
Oh dear.
So I had to spend the next 2 hours in wet underwear, just hanging around with them. It's just terrible.
It sounds like a horrible scene from some movie, some bad comedy here.
Sorry, I have to drop off. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh, man. Yeah, Phil's been really, really busy lately, and that's a good thing because he's been getting a lot of graphic work, so that's why I kind of thumbs up on that.
Well, Philip, you can always just tell people that that part happened in an alternate universe. That wasn't real.
It was so long ago, it might as well be an alternative universe. I was only 7.
Well, yeah, you can't be held accountable for something like that.
No.
Yeah, it's not freedom.
I just hope you can find those pictures someday, really.
You know what?
Also,
As
there's
much
not
as
many people who can say that they wet themselves in front of a national treasure, so that's all right.
Lucky.
And at 10 Downing, that's great. That's beautiful.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I imagine a lot of people have actually wet themselves inside 10 Downing, though, in under certain circumstances.
Yeah.
Well, David Cameron's probably done it a few times.
Yes.
You know, it's my house. I'm gonna pee all over it.
It sounds like you're marking the territory. That's it's like a dog, you know.
Exactly.
Okay, well, you wanted to continue on, Philip?
No, I'm fine with that now. I'm suitably embarrassed now, so thank you.
Okay, Ryan. Well, what is your Sarah Jane memory you'd like to bring up, or any more than one?
My first ever episode of Doctor Who that I watched was The Time Warrior, which was Sarah Jane's first episode, and so that's my earliest memory, and all I can remember was just seeing this tall, white-haired man in the green jacket and this woman with the black hair, and just being amazed at this show, and then consequently being frightened by the potato-haired knight, as I remembered him.
Yeah.
Genesis of the Daleks again. Just really fond memories of. She's my favourite companion. And it seemed really fitting that she came back in the new series and got her own spin-off, and long before the days where me and the internet created a bond that just doesn't seem complete without it. I didn't even know that she died until Series 6 aired, and I believe they had the in memory of Elisabeth Sladen. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, they had like a mini prologue thing before the intro, didn't they?
Yeah, what was that, Nightwing? Go say that again.
They had a little prologue before the first episode of Series 6, didn't they? Where the Doctor was hiding under a woman's dress.
Mm.
That was in memory of Sarah. That was in memory of something.
Right. They had that's got to be kind of wow. I found out on the internet before seeing that, so that would have really hit me hard if that was where I found out.
No, I found out through how did I find out? I think I found out through the news. Through BBC News.
Plus, they also had that little featurette special that they aired.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember that as well. Yeah.
I still have a
Yeah,
copy
nice
of that
Jane.
somewhere.
Can I just say that I really loved the fusion she had between Tom Baker as a companion, and I don't think any other companion really matched it ever since. That kind of companionship that they had together, Tom and Liz. No other companions reached that level.
Yeah, and
I would agree.
she was my first companion. And she's my favourite, so yeah, that's my memory.
She was.
She's up there, definitely on my top 10.
Yep.
And I feel that she's also a significant part of one of the status regeneration scenes with John Pertwee.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
yes.
I can remember that, just being in shock at seeing this transformation, and yeah, that's my memories.
Okay, Fez.
Yeah, well, like Nightwing, I wasn't really familiar with the classic series. My first introduction was the school reunion episode, and like a lot of people as well, I really liked Sarah Jane. And then my first classic episode with her, and this is so far the only one I've managed to watch, was Genesis of the Daleks. And that's a classic among many Whovians, and I did watch some of the episodes of the Sarah Jane Adventures, but I'm not like trying to criticize it, but I just find it was more aimed at children. But when I found out that she had passed, I just thought, because it was the last series, I'll just watch it. The scene was just really disappointing, but it never got the proper ending. And it's a shame that we didn't get Sophie Aldred or Tom Baker involved. But hopefully they can maybe do another spin-off with maybe another companion eventually, a couple of years down the line.
Yeah, after we get a new showrunner.
Oh yeah.
Can I just say, to something to do with the Sarah Jane Adventures?
Go ahead.
they had two doctors. They had David Tennant, and then they had Matt Smith, and they've also had Joe Grant.
Oh,
So
yes.
it was really good that they had two other stars planned to appear that had previously been in Doctor Who. And it was also good to see the Brigadier as well. That was another thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was so great to see all them together. But the episode with Katie Manning back as Joe Grant, I thought that was incredible.
I did too.
That was amazing. It was interesting to see that that Clyde was questioning the Doctor's regeneration.
Yes.
Oh, how many numbers? Yeah. I never liked that because that threw away the regeneration system, the way he said it.
Yeah. I think he was just joking with
No,
Clyde.
I think he was lying. Like I said, he gave a number. I think. It was
That's what I meant. He was joking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Doctor lies.
5 plus 7 plus 0 is 13.
Oh.
Ah.
Yeah, 5 plus 0
But
plus
that's not
7
number
is
of
12.
regenerations, that would be number of lives.
Yeah, they have 12 regenerations. Oh, there's another kitty picture that no one's going to see.
Let's do it.
Okay, Ross, can you name off some Sarah Jane memories for us?
Yeah, well, the first one would have been School of Union. That's probably when I first realised that there was also a classic series of Doctor Who.
Hang on a second, Fez. Yeah, you got to mute your mic if you're banging on the keyboard, man. Otherwise, I can't hear what you're saying. Okay, go ahead, Ross.
Yeah, School of Union was the first time I was introduced to Sarah Jane. Also, when I actually realised that there was a classic series and how many other Doctors there were previously. And then I think my favourite memory of her was actually in Stolen Earth, I think it was, in Journey's End. I just really liked her in that episode where she's up against the Daleks and she gets reunited with Davros for the second time.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
Oh, yeah, I love that scene. You were there on Skaro.
Yes.
Yeah, great. Loved
It's
it.
she's actually nearly to tears about seeing Davros again, because
She missed him.
because I miss you, Davros.
I miss you, Gordy.
Yeah, Ross, it's been so long. Can I give you a hug?
She had
Mommy,
she had a weird life after meeting the Doctor. She adopted two children, one made of
Yeah, what was that?
scraps, and one was a ticking time bomb. Sarah had an interesting life after leaving the Doctor.
Yeah, she
She
did.
adopted two children, didn't she? And then she got a robot dog of her own. And then she also has a computer that is voiced by Alexander Armstrong. So she has a very interesting life.
Mr. Smith, I need you.
Yes.
Plus, a lot of people didn't get to see K9 and Company. Well,
Yeah,
you
that was
did.
good.
Yeah. Well, the only thing that she was missing was Kit.
That's true.
I think Mr. Smith is Kit enough.
Yeah. I don't think they want to bring Kid into it because then you got to bring in Hasselhoff, and then he'll want to be Nick Fury again, and then.
Not if they used the 2008 and 9 continuation, which I have to say was pretty good.
Oh, okay. All right, Andrew. Sarah Jane memories.
My first memory of her would be from the Ark in Space. It was the very first episode of Doctor Who that I saw. And like you, Dr. Freedom, I saw Doctor Who when it first arrived on PBS here in the United States, and that was the very first episode that I saw. And, of course, was completely taken by the show immediately. And it wasn't just because of the Doctor; it was also because of Sarah Jane. And I agree with some of the others have said that I think that Sarah Jane is the quintessential Doctor Who companion. I think each Doctor has their own, companion that is just perfect for them. And I think part of that is that, there are a lot of things that you can do. You can cast absolutely brilliant actors, but you cannot force chemistry between actors. Just like you can't force a friendship You might have somebody that's been in your life for, pretty much all your life, and you're still nothing more than casual acquaintances, and you might meet someone else, and then within 30 minutes you feel like you've known them forever. And I think that's the way that Tom Baker and Elisabeth Sladen were on screen. It's the same thing with John Pertwee and Katie Manning. I think every Doctor has that one companion that is just perfect with them, and then overall, I think the fact that Sarah Jane's the only companion other than K9 that got their own series, that just everybody keeps thinking, when you think of Doctor Who, you think of Sarah Jane. Think of that when you say Doctor's companion. Many people, that's the first thing they think of. Now, the interesting perspective is that my kids found Doctor Who without my help. They watched the new series with my wife, the revived series, and then they fell in love with Sarah Jane from School Reunion, and then were delighted that Sarah Jane Adventures, came about, and so they loved that. In fact, I just hung up on my daughter's wall. She has an autographed photo from Tommy Knight that I just hung up there for her. So they're huge fans of that too. So then I watched that whole series with them as well. But I hope that the BBC, in their infinite wisdom, will never do like they did. I mean, I thought it was a nice thing when Nicholas Courtney passed, that they actually made mention of the passing of the Brigadier, but I hope they never mention that Sarah Jane has passed anytime in Doctor Who, because you want to think of a character like that going on forever, and you want to think of Elisabeth Sladen, as always still being there. It's odd, but it's true, and I think she's just a classy lady, certainly a brilliant actress, and it was just an endearing character.
Yeah.
Well, didn't it say at the end of the series that her story will live on, or something like that, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I'm glad there isn't a definitive ending to things. And I hope if they ever bring in some of those characters into Doctor Who, if they bring those characters back over, the kids or something, that they just mention in passing, oh yeah, Sarah Jane's doing fine, or something like that. That they don't say, oh yeah, she died. That would be heartbreaking to me.
Another thing I want to pick on again is that she got on extremely well with David Tennant, because
yes,
and then also Matt Smith, although they didn't really have much of an appearance together.
Although on what you were saying, and I really do agree with you, however, there is one way that I would be cool with them saying that she did die, if instead of a throwaway line, they mentioned that she died doing something really amazing that saved the world, like on the caliber of what the Doctor does all of the time.
Yeah,
that's true. I
can go with that. I can go with that, yeah.
All right, go on. What was that? Go ahead, Ryan.
Even though she'll pretty much always be remembered as a Tom Baker companion, she was equally as good with John Pertwee, and that just proved to show as well in the Five Doctors, just how well they got on, and even even in the new series, she just gels well with any Doctor.
You made me think of something else. If you could stop, and it was because of the Five Doctors, she has met the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 10th, and 11th incarnations of the Doctor.
Yes.
Don't ever let Stephen Moffat figure that out.
And she did it all without being the impossible girl.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Shane Moff already thought of it, Bill.
I wasn't counting that because that was wibbly wobbly, badly written.
Okay, Nightwing, you want to bring something up?
With any Doctor, do you think they could have put her with any of the Doctors, and she would have worked just as well?
Not very. I'm not too sure with Colin Baker. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I can't see her trying to talk back to William Hartnell either.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, I mean, I think that. Yeah, I think Colin Baker. She would not have put up with the Sixth Doctor at all. She wouldn't have put up with this.
I could see her working with Sylvester McCoy, like Sophie did.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm really
Make an
hoping
interesting.
is that they'll do. I would love to see Sophie Aldred back sometime, but
Yes, I would too.
Yeah.
You know, I think that she would try to talk back to the First Doctor.
I know I would love to see that banter.
Yeah, I would as well, because she was a bit of a women's libber and a bit of a feisty go-getter, so she would have gave her best back at him.
It was Silence Child.
Yeah. Sadly, the Sixth would have choked her.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether she would have gotten on well with the Ninth Doctor.
No, that's
I don't think so.
No, he would have been
because
too
Mickey
heavy.
didn't get on with her. Mickey was, he's hard to get on with, the Ninth Doctor, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Well, I think the Ninth Doctor, he's so melancholy in many ways, and he's got such a sadness to him that I don't think that Sarah Jane would have put up with that. She would have called him a defeatist in some ways. So.
He only got on with Rose and Jack because, they were in some ways similar to him. Because Rose had an bit of a poor life to begin with.
If you think about it, the Ninth Doctor was always more comfortable around aliens than humans. I mean, he befriended Jabe, he was willing to trust the Gelf.
Yeah,
right.
But he was always sort of intolerant around Mickey and all of that. So I think he felt more comfortable.
Because he even helped one of the Slovene.
That's true.
And I think that can contribute to the fact that he considers the Earth his sort of home now, and he sort of treats that as his second home because Gallifrey's gone, and he was always quite distant from Gallifrey. But so yeah, I just think he was just more comfortable around alien life forms.
Do you think she would get on well with the 12th Doctor?
Interesting.
Yeah, we're not sure, how they're going to tackle that yet, but it looks promising from what I've seen, with Peter Capaldi so far.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm hoping for is that the whole time that that Moffat was going through this whole Impossible Girl thing with Clara, that it annoyed me because of one thing is I thought that Jenna Coleman was doing such a marvelous job, and she's so charming, and she's got kind of a combination of Liz Sladen and Katie Manning. She's got the smartness, the cleverness of a Sarah Jane, but she's got the kind of
kookiness.
spunkiness.
Yeah.
What's that?
The kookiness.
The kookiness and the spunkiness of Joe Grant. And the whole time I was just thinking, why don't we just? I'm waiting for this to be over so it can just be the Doctor and his companion, going on adventures, not this whole mystery about the mystery, the Impossible Girl. Well, now I was always thinking, well, let it be more like the Doctor and Sarah Jane. But as we go into the new era of Capaldi here, I'm thinking more. This would be much better if it was more like the Third Doctor and Joe Grant. Their relationship. I think that would work out really well, the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
The Impossible Girl storyline was just something to keep people gripping on because they knew that the one episode story arc thing wouldn't work out in the end and would probably lose viewers.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they were steadily losing ratings over the last half of Series 7.
Yeah.
It's just something to grip them.
Which is why I'm glad they're going back to no split series. You're going to have, I think, the possibility of a couple two-parters coming up. So.
Yeah.
I like the two-parters.
Yeah.
I do too. I don't mind them.
No, as long as it's not all two-parters. Slenderman!
The vacuum cleaner's back.
Oh no.
Teletubbies!
It's not Sparks.
I know there's some people out there that think Moffat sucks, but that's taking it to a whole new level.
Yeah. Oh well, I got Moffats on what he's thinking with the classic Doctors, just related to Star Wars. But in his Palpatine role, said every single Doctor is now an enemy of the modern Who.
Yeah, very true. Like I said, I try to keep on the fence as far as this goes. It's hard to do because my personal disappointment with the 8th anniversary special, but I'm trying to stay hopeful, especially with a new actor coming in. A new actor who's got the clout to say, no, I'm not going to do this, no, I'm not going to do that.
Right. This is the first time I think we've had an actor assume the role that has as much clout and as much gravitas as Peter Capaldi has. I mean, we have someone who is a bona fide star already assuming the role, who I think had probably has a much higher profile than anybody else did coming into that role.
Okay, what was that, Nightwing?
He's left a job just to, he's sold his house and left the Musketeers just to be in Doctor Who. His lifelong dream.
Yeah.
He's going to be an amazing Doctor.
Yeah, but I hate when people say that. It's going to be an amazing Doctor. He will be, but it depends on how well the scripts are and if they can work for him. If they're rubbish script, then that's not going to do him any favours.
Then again, look at Matt Smith and Colin Baker. I mean, they are excellent doctors. It's just their scripts let them down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Well, with maybe Peter Capaldi being like more of a fan of the show, he might be able to have more of a say this time.
I think
Let's
so.
hope so.
Yeah.
Because
And
Moffat is.
Hold it one at a time. You go first, Fez.
Oh, well, sorry. I think weren't they saying that they weren't going to do the Daleks this year, but because Peter Capaldi was such a big fan, they decided to bring him back in again. Is that true?
All right, bring what back in again?
Oh,
The Daleks.
The Daleks.
Yeah.
No, the thing is, I think they're kind of stuck with the Daleks due to their agreement with the Terry Nation estate.
Yeah.
And that's another thing I'm worried about, is the fact that the Daleks have been getting way overused.
Yeah.
I do hope that the Daleks after this one will not be used for a while until, the 10th anniversary. I mean, I know it's a way off yet, but, I do think the Daleks need to retire for a little while.
I would say that, and the Cybermen as well. I think it's time to let them both, sit it out for a little bit.
I don't mind if the Daleks come back, but as long as they're given enough meat in the story to make themselves look useful.
Yes.
Yeah. Moffat's.
I think
Also, the fact that they're actually given a definitive way of being beaten, and not escaping, or the asylum type thing.
Okay, what do you want to say, Ross?
if you're gonna bring back a Dalek, just bring back one. Make it scary, make it terrifying, because you have multiple in there.
I thought
you'll get
Dalek was kind
overcrowded.
of scary.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We need that hype back. We need to make the good Daleks back when they kicked ass. Not when we had like 70,000 on the screen and all they do is shout exterminate, but for some reason they can't press the trigger to shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus, people keep bringing up that in Victory of the Daleks... Well, hang on. Let me finish this thought here, Nightwing. I know you're anxious. But,
Sorry.
oh, don't worry. I know that people thought, Victory of the Daleks, that the Daleks actually won, but the problem is, I thought for a second before they zoomed off they were going to go, go, Power Rangers!
Yes. Oh, God. Yes.
Okay, go on ahead, Nightwing.
It was interesting to see that, in Dalek, one Dalek was able to cause so much trouble.
Yes.
And it would be interesting to do a similar thing, but not exactly the same.
Yeah, well, Stephen Moffat did do
Because I
something like
like
that.
that. I love Dalek.
Okay, hang on. You go ahead, Fez.
Well, in the Big Bang, that they had like the Stone Dalek, and that was just one Dalek, and that sort of made it more threatening as well, I thought.
Yes.
I mean, that Dalek even
as-
got to shoot the Doctor as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And as good as Dalek was, I do think that really Parting of the Ways just adds on to that with how dangerous Daleks can be. They go down to that the lower floor where all the unarmed people are just to kill them.
Yeah.
Just for the sake
Yeah,
of
but
Right.
why? You come in the centre, there's unarmed people, and you've got your greatest enemy at the top. Logic is to go straight up, not down.
Yeah, but that's just the Daleks' way. Destroy anything that's not like them.
I suppose.
Right.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I do agree with that.
There is
To me,
one.
this made them seem more ruthless. I thought that was good.
There
My
is-
feeling is.
Hey, I'll let Andrew continue, Nightwing.
Oh, I was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
going to say that the one thing that I hope for, I know I already said that. Another thing that I hope for the new series is that we finally retire the Weeping Angels.
Yes.
I think they have run their course. I think that they are no longer, if they're brought back, I just don't see how to make them any scarier. I think, actually, I would have liked to have seen them gone after, after Amy and Rory's departure, and then never have them come back. But it's like, I'm done with them. Give me something new, or resurrect an old enemy.
I'd have liked the Angels to have been gone before that point of ridiculousness.
Me too, actually.
Yeah, the Angels fake Manhattan. Yeah.
There is weakness for the
I'm still
Daleks. Daleks are a great space threat. You see one of them, and you see just how terrifying they are. But
Yes.
out there, there's hordes. Just throw Sigourney Weaver at them.
I want to see that episode now.
The problem with the Weeping Angels. The
Yeah,
problem
what
with the
happens
Weeping
then?
Hang on, Phil first, then we'll go to Nightwing.
Starro, you bitch!
Okay,
I was
Phil,
gonna-
then
I was-
Nightwing. Go ahead.
I was going to say the problem with the Weeping Angels is that their modus operandi kept changing every time. I like them as they were originally, and then the next thing they're doing different. They're acting differently to what they normally were. It confuses me a bit.
Yeah, it's true. They were never as scary or as effective as they were in Blink. That's where they were the best.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you want to add, Nightwing?
Doesn't matter. I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh,
Sorry,
it's going to happen a lot more as you get older.
Oh.
Did you sign the papers, Father?
Congratulations, you just
You'll
got.
love the facility.
Oh.
Yeah, you just got a preview of what it's like when you hit 40.
God.
I really think that the last few regeneration or the regenerations that Moffat has handled have been handled completely wrong. I mean, Matt Smith Time of the Doctor was just completely rushed in its. It was just about, the parts that a lot of people would have liked to have seen were just, rushed over with narration, and then you just had Night of the Doctor was a regeneration just for regeneration's sake. And I truly think, and I don't really want to think it, but I truly think that they only got Paul McGann back just to do the regeneration, not just to have Paul McGann back.
That's my thought too. It was simply a case of we had to legitimize the new quote unquote war doctor.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, but the nice byproduct was we got him back. I actually thought that regeneration, that whole thing, and a lot of that goes to Paul McGann, was that it was far more effective than the regeneration from Matt Smith to Peter Capaldi, to me.
Yeah, it's that it was handled bad. It's just he deserved more after 17 years than a mere 7-minute mini.
It kind of canonized the fact that there could be a possible woman doctor when the sisters were saying you can be fat or thin, short or tall, man or female, and it's like, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, see, right there he should have went with the woman option, because every 28 days the Daleks were doomed.
Well,
period jokes.
I know.
well, the Doctor could have had an affair with Darvis.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you see, a lot of people seem to think that I'm not thankful for Night of the Doctor. I am. I really enjoyed the fact that they went to all this trouble. But at the same time, why didn't they do this for the 50th anniversary special?
Right.
Yeah, well, I really hope that if they do something for the 10th anniversary, that he could be back in some way. That's what I'm really hoping.
I'm having eerie Nostradamus moments that they're going to do something big for the 10th anniversary.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that too, and because and I hope they do it right. But honestly, I enjoyed Night of the Doctor more than I enjoyed Time of the Doctor. I watched Time of the Doctor once. I've watched Night of the Doctor I don't know how many times, over and over again. I mean, part of it is also because it's short; you can watch it quickly. But it's just, to me, it was just a powerful, little 8 minutes or so, and it kills me. I want more of Paul McGann. I want to see more of him. Not just hear him in the big Finish audio. I want to see him on screen, and I hope that the rumors are true that we are actually going to see him come back in the new series, with Capaldi.
It'd be in. I just want to say that, in my opinion, the 8 minutes that we got for Night of the Doctor was better than the TV movie.
Yeah, I'd say that too, even.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because one, we contradicted that the Doctor's dad had an affair with, not an affair, but had a relationship with a human, and made the Doctor so he's half human. That contradicts.
Doesn't contradict anything.
No, it doesn't.
Human Doctors, human Time Lords can't regenerate,
so half human.
Half human on his mother's side.
And keep in mind, we got River Song running around regenerating, and she wasn't Gallifreyan.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah.
So, I don't know why everybody had a problem with the half human thing, because I didn't. I thought it explained a lot.
I hated it at first, back when the TV movie first aired, and then went back and thought, oh yeah, that does explain a lot. It explains why he has such problems regenerating, so often.
Yeah, it's why he destroyed half of his TARDIS when he returned from 10 to 11.
Yeah.
Moffat has said though the Doctor isn't half human. He said that in an interview a couple of months ago. But that's Moffat for you. He could say anything.
Moffat can say anything he wants. Next showrunner can step in and say, "Oops, sorry, it's canon."
Yeah.
I'm pretty certain that the previous showrunner actually, always thought of that as canon, that he was half human.
Yeah, it was thanks to RTD that Paul McGann's incarnation got legitimized. So.
Yes.
And one thing I just really hate is everyone complaining about the sneeze regeneration, as it's referred to. I don't think it's that bad.
Well, the reason why they did that was, as Matt Smith even finally admitted, there were multiple takes on that shot.
Exactly.
Yeah, the original scene was supposed to be when he blew up on the tower, Clara comes into the TARDIS, and Capaldi's already there. But then they decided, wait a minute, we don't want, Matt Smith going out being a shouty old guy.
And I'm really glad for that, too.
So, I'm really glad they did do that.
I like that.
You did get that touching scene where, Karen Gillan came back and had to get the extra episode ahead of Billy Piper. And that's exactly the reason why I even think he did it. Because up until Day of the Doctor, Karen Gillan had exactly one more episode than Billy Piper on the show. And then all of a sudden, boom, she shows up for the regen scene.
Yeah.
Actually, I could have done without her in that scene. I didn't think it was needed.
Having two actors with wigs on was just confusing.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Ryan.
Then again, it is pretty much exactly the same thing that Tom Baker and Peter Davison did when they were regenerating, how they were seeing all of their past companions, and it's just done in a different way here. So really, it's just sort of like the same thing.
Yeah, that's the first time I thought about that, and okay, that makes it sit a little better with me.
Don't forget David Tennant.
Yeah, David Tennant went back and visited all his companions.
True.
It would have just been a lot better if the 10th Doctor could have just had memories of them, just like all those other Doctors did. But no, we're actually to suspend disbelief that this man is dying, yet can somehow go and visit all these other people for about 20 minutes and not die.
Yeah.
Go get a sandwich, get his laundry done, stuff like that.
It did. That's probably why the TARDIS blew up like it did, because he was storing it away. He should have just let it happen.
Well, really, it would have pretty much killed him. I mean,
Yeah.
look what happened with the
There wouldn't have
third
been
Doctor.
too much. There
Well,
wouldn't have
I
been
mean,
all that damage.
Yeah, because the third Doctor sort of like held on for quite a while before he returned to unit, didn't he? He got lost in the time vortex
That's
while
true.
he was.
Yeah, that plus the fact they were bringing in a new set and they needed a reason to blow up the old one.
Fair enough.
The only thing I would like to add to Matt Smith's generation was, you know, he does his speech about how everyone changes, but it's
Yeah.
always good as long as you remember who all the people used to be. I would love to like have all the previous Doctors just like appear like in sequence.
That would have been
been
good.
great.
That would have been good. I agree with that. That would have been fantastic to see that.
I would have loved
Yeah.
seeing that.
You know, you brought up a legitimate point there, Dr. Freedom, about the blowing up the set. I mean, I know you're making a joke there, but you know, there are a lot of things that happen in TV shows and in movies that you know, either you think of as being, oh, that's a cop out, or that's brilliant. And it usually comes down to just logistics of shooting things, or when you have to, you know, we've got to build this set, or we've got to shoot this here now, or we've got this, we only have this location for an hour, or whatever. And you know, sometimes it has to, the script has to change just because of that. So,
Especially the TARDIS set they had, because that was falling apart by the end. Especially when you think about every single take they do when they're constantly holding onto the TARDIS and pulling things and pull it one
Right.
bit and bits would fall off. The TARDIS by the end was falling to bits. That's the only reason why they blew it up, because they thought it's already broken. They can blow it up so next time they can get a new one in instead of having the old one. That's the reason why they blew it up. I think Russell T Davies mentions it in his book.
right.
And the reason why he blew it up because he got the chance.
That's absolutely true. I mean, from working in film and TV, I know that you know, even a series that goes on for a long time, let's say something like Star Trek: The Next Generation, where you've got, you know, for the most part, you've got the same bridge set and a lot of the same standing sets, but even those aren't meant to be standing forever, because, you know, you never know whether the network's going to cancel your show or whatever, or if you're going to have to move that. And sometimes you don't have a chance to have all your sets as standing sets. The studio has to be used for other productions, and so, you know, they're not meant to last forever. And after a while, if something goes on and on longer than you expected it to, you know, you're piecing your set together and hoping it stays together, you know, for each take. After a while, I've seen that happen on sets where, you know, you're in the middle of something and stuff starts to fall down just because it's so old and it's been so well worn and so used over time. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the reason why, you know, everything went boom.
Plus, also, if you get a chance out there in YouTube land, and now I'm going to have to look it up, there was a group of guys who got onto the Next Gen set during the night, and they, you know, apparently they worked for Paramount. And they're filming these scenes, you know, on the actual sets for Star Trek: The Next Generation. And they show the poor guy getting on the bio bed, and the bio bed falls over. And then he's playing around with this desk, and the desk is made out of some kind of really light plastic, so it's moving around. It just shows you how incredible an actor you got to be to work with some sci-fi.
It's true. It is absolutely true. And, you know, and you know, things are, you know, and you'd be surprised how often when you're actually on a set, how it really doesn't look that impressive in some cases, but it's all about how does it look to the camera once everything's lit properly and everything like that. Same thing with costumes. You know, sometimes costumes are very impressive in person, and sometimes they're not. But it's all about how they look on camera. Also, a lot of costumes are not comfortable at all. No costume is ever made for comfort, and I can tell you that from first-hand experience. That certain costumes, and you know which one I'm talking about, are very, very. So,
Tell me about it. I have sympathy for every single guy out there in the universe who've had to play a Klingon.
yes.
Because I have a full Von Vinyl uniform here, and that thing weighs a good 15 pounds by itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how those guys get into that thing and stay in it for hours. You know,
Right.
And even though I don't own a full outfit, I do own a Batman mask, and I can tell you, I tried to wear that at a convention for like the whole day, and it did not work out well. Probably because it was a great deal too small for me to begin with, but it was quite hot at the convention.
I bet.
Plus the Batman outfits that they used, I believe, for Keaton and, you know, the other ones in that era, it was made out of a type of rubber that didn't breathe, but it shrank.
Yeah, so you basically you shrink wrap yourself, you vacuum form yourself as you're wearing it.
Yeah, so that's all they did was for Robin's costume, I believe in Batman and Robin, it was one of Val Kilmer's and it shrank to the point he couldn't even put it on anymore.
Wow.
So
Don't forget about the bat nipples.
Oh yes.
Yes. Yeah, something we didn't need.
No.
Or back.
I do hope that in the next series coming up in Doctor Who that we see a bit more of the TARDIS rather than the central control room. That they add a bit more sets.
Saying that we've had a swimming pool and a library.
Yeah, but
yes.
Yeah, that was all just green screen stuff.
Exactly. I want a bit more of a living sort of like appeal to it.
We have had that in the past, I'm pretty sure. Tom Baker, we had like a graveyard type thing, didn't we?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They could do it in the old series where they can make sets of the extra sets of the TARDIS, and yet they can't do it in this one.
Yeah,
I just
thought like corridors, didn't we?
All right, Ryan, you go first and Nightwing.
I just thought of something that would be an awesome TARDIS room. The TARDIS home theater.
Watch old episodes.
Or better yet, you have it fitted with a 60-inch plasma screen time-space visualizer.
That's the one. That's the one.
Time and relative drama in space. There we go.
Okay, what you play at Nightwing?
We've also in the classic series, we've seen the Doctor run through the corridors in the TARDIS.
Or better yet, if you go back to Mask of Mandragora, that's where him and Sarah are walking around in the beginning, and that's where they find the secondary console room.
Yep.
Right.
And you only got to see that up through let's see, I can't remember which episode with Leela, but because the idiots improperly stored it, it rained, it got cold, it got hot, and by the time they went to repack it because they were going to use it again, the whole damn thing had warped.
That's right. Yeah.
And
you're still bitter about it, aren't you, Doctor?
Oh, yeah, that was a beautiful set.
It was beautiful. It was wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still. It only exists today in pictures, unfortunately.
Yeah. And even in the Fifth Doctor's era, we saw a lot of corridors, at least, and we've seen the Doctor's closet several times, where he picks out a new outfit.
Even as a girl in there somewhere.
Yeah. And
I like the idea of the zero room. I wish they kept that. The zero room.
I do too. It's like, why? I was just thinking about that. Why haven't they ever brought that back?
Okay, what was that, Nightwing?
We've also seen the Eye of Harmony, the room where that's kept.
Yes.
Well, originally the Eye of Harmony wasn't even in the TARDIS.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was something I think they flubbed in the TV movie, and they decided to keep it on. What was that, Ross? Go ahead.
I was going to say, they had the medical bay as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
And the engine room. We saw the broken engine room. We haven't seen the actual.
Speaking of the eye. Oh, go on.
So no, go on ahead, Phil. That's what I was saying.
I was going to say, speaking of the Eye of Harmony, considering that during Exodus time and beyond, they had to keep stopping at Cardiff to refuel it. What was the point of that if the Eye of Harmony was already in the TARDIS by the time we get to Matt Smith's journey into the TARDIS?
Well, it could have been another system, maybe, that the Eye of Harmony doesn't power.
Ah.
Because with the black hole and all that, you're screwing around with some really tricky stuff. So maybe there's other systems in the TARDIS that can't be powered by the Eye of Harmony due to whatever energy is incompatible.
You need an adapter.
Size your remote, or it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Speaking of TARDIS sets, just going slightly off course, one of my favourite moments of the Five-ish Doctors reboot is when they go on, is when the classic Doctors go onto the TARDIS set and Sylvester McCoy says it's a helicopter now.
Hang on, what was...
Yes.
Yep.
Tell the maid to do that later.
Whatever that is.
What was that again, Ryan? You were getting blanked out by that sound.
No, I was just saying how in the Five-ish Doctors reboot, I love that scene when the classic Doctors go to the new TARDIS set and Sylvester McCoy looks up at the rotating bit and says, it's a helicopter now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually preferred I preferred the previous set, the one that was there through the whole time with Amy and Rory.
You mean the orange?
Yes, I actually like that one. I don't like the current set just because it seems smaller. It seems more claustrophobic to me.
Yeah, it's too dark as well.
You like the romper room set? Oh man.
You mean the only reason he did that is to get over the fact that he'd lost 2 friends. He wanted a flash change.
Yeah, I understand the reasoning behind it. I just thought it could be a little larger. In fact, I thought it would have been interesting if it seemed really larger and cavernous and like a cathedral or something where he would seem like he's all alone.
Didn't that happen in the TV movie? Because we've seen that the TARDIS console room at that time had like a couch and a sitting area at the side of the console, like a proper seating area.
All I can say is bring back the roundels. That's all I say.
Yes, and I've seemed to notice. I don't know why, but it just clicked in my mind a few days ago that when they try too hard to do an anniversary special, we end up with something that is like the 5 Doctors, which is, I don't know, there's something about the 5 Doctors that isn't as good as the 3 Doctors. But then when they don't try hard enough, we end up with Day of the Doctor. But then if you look at the 3 Doctors, which I think is the perfect anniversary special, you have all the Doctors at that point, yet there's no sign of a Dalek anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Instead, we get a
I
new
just watched that again
Transformer
recently.
Omega.
It seemed a bit absurd.
And completely new enemy, and
Which this podcast is named after.
That's right.
And that just goes to show that when you try too hard, you can end up with like the 5 Doctors. That's just completely jam packed to the point that it's. Oh, the 5 Doctors is good. It's just nothing compared to the 3 Doctors, I feel. It just seems a little bit too fan-wanky, really. I mean, you've got a Dalek there, you've got the Cyberman, you've got Yeti, you've just got stuff there for no point.
Yeah, it did try to be all-inclusive to everything, It was, but I would tend to agree. I just watched the 3 Doctors again recently, and it really does have everything you need for an anniversary.
Exactly. All you really need for an anniversary special is the Doctors, really. You don't need Daleks to be the main enemy. You don't need, all this returning, really. I mean, throw some companions in there, throw an enemy in there we haven't seen, but don't go all out like the 5 Doctors did and have like that.
No, the one thing that was missing from Day of the Doctor that should have been there, in my opinion, and even if you didn't bring back the classic Doctors at all, Carol Ann Ford and William Russell should have been in there.
Yes.
Haven't you seen that what's it called, article where it says that Carol Ann Ford thinks that Doctor Who ruined her acting career?
Yeah, but she's always said that. She's always said that, though.
Yeah.
But I think she enjoyed herself. Even when she did the 5 Doctors, she seemed to enjoy herself.
Yeah, true.
You get different stories from different actors at different times throughout their career, depending on what they're doing. Sometimes they'll say, "Oh, such and such ruined my career," and then later on they'll say, "Oh, it was a wonderful time, it was the happiest of times," and then, What I want to do as an actor is I don't care if I get typecast. I don't care anything along those lines. I'm doing it. Who cares?
What they should be doing with what they should be doing with Susan is actually regenerating her by now, because she's been in that body for how long? As a time lady, she should be regenerated so that they give her a new.
I wish they would do that. Go ahead, Ross.
It's not stated that she is actually a time lady, is it? Is it ever stated that she can regenerate?
Yeah. Susan's Gallifreyan.
Yeah, she's Gallifreyan. Yeah.
That's been confirmed in multiple places that Susan's Gallifreyan. Yes.
Yeah, but she actually looks after her body, not like the Doctor and the Master.
Yeah, or as they brought up in Earthly Child when Paul McGann's doctor tells her what regenerations he's on. She goes, "Grandfather, you're practically throwing them away."
Exactly. She's actually looking after them. herself.
She's got a good exercise and diet, so she's got a good regimen going.
Well, no, she's not going up against Daleks and Cybermen. That's the main reason that she's not regenerated yet, because she's been on Earth most of her.
And if you think of it, think about it in age terms, when she was Susan at the time, she was a very young time. She was a baby, basically, compared to the Doctor.
Yeah.
Right. Plus, she only had slight exposure to John Nathan Turner. Okay, who was that? All right, I thought someone spoke up. Okay, so a lot of fond memories of Doctor Who we've been going over the last little bit. One last thing I wanted to bring up was also the fact that it was Peter Davison's birthday just this last week or so, along with Peter Capaldi and David Tennant and Louise Jameson. And I just wanted to bring up, I'm really glad that we still have all these folks here with us, going so many years on in Doctor Who, especially Peter Davison, who got to reappear in Time Crash, and especially Louise Jameson, who first came on the show in January of '77. I wanted to go around briefly, for those of you who remember, Leela. Give me a quick Leela memory. Let's start with Andrew and go the other way around this time.
Okay. Every time I think of Leela, my first thought is, "Shall I kill him, Doctor?" That's my what I always think of when I think of. Is that she asks for permission if she can kill someone. But I love her. I got to meet her once years ago, and she's just absolutely delightful. Just a charming person. But I like the character. It's hard for anybody who's going to step in as. I mean, she had the most unenviable task of stepping in after the departure of Elisabeth Sladen, and how do you top that? And I thought she was great, and again she's got a different kind of chemistry with Tom Baker than she than obviously Elisabeth Sladen did, but I think she's wonderful, and I really like stuff with the Big Finish that she's doing with him, and it's great that in audio you can continue on. Doesn't matter what your age is, as long as you still sound good, and she still sounds great. I still believe her as Leela, but I think the episode that where she got to do something a little more than just be the savage that's being tamed by the Doctor is Horror at Fang Rock.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah, I really like that episode. So to me, that's my favorite memory of Leela is watching that episode. And then of course just meeting her, Louise Jameson, was just delightful. So.
Okay.
And I can't believe that they made her wear contacts through that whole thing to change the color of her eyes.
Yeah.
I never understood that they didn't think she was savage enough looking with her own green eyes. They made her wear red contacts that made her crazy because she saw red. They didn't have contact lenses that like we do now that just color the iris area. They actually colored the whole thing, so it was tinted red to make her green eyes brown. And then of course after Horror of Fang Rock, then they gave her the blue contact lenses. Just made no sense to me. She's got lovely, beautiful eyes. I would have bought her as this sort of savage figure. When she's first introduced with the green eyes. I don't get it with the contacts.
Okay, Ross?
Yeah, I've only ever seen a few of Leela's episodes, and she's just one of those characters that you want to see back in the show. She was not like the average companion. She was out of her own, out of a different time, and she wasn't afraid of the Doctor. She was very stern, but also learning in another way. But even when I got the chance to meet her, I thought she was brilliant. She was so kind, so delightful, and yeah, she was brilliant to talk to.
See, that's what I loved about her character. She wasn't stupid. It was the fact she came from a primitive society.
Right. Sample.
They're breaking up here.
course.
Oh, well, this is Houston. Or,
I don't know what he's doing in there. Maybe I don't want to know.
we're having
like
a
scary.
situation up here.
Okay, Fezman, you remember any Leela episodes?
Well, unfortunately, I haven't really watched any of her stories. I will get into the classic series eventually. It's just there's just a lot of stories involved, and I haven't really got the time at the minute. But maybe over the next couple of months, I think I will eventually watch like most of the classic series. But unfortunately, I haven't got time at the minute.
Okay, well, whenever you have time, man, you know, it's definitely worth the watch, because when she stepped in, that's when you had a lot of really, really good episodes in that arc, so.
Alright, yeah.
Okay, Ryan, you have any Leela memories?
The first one that I can remember was the Robots of Death.
Oh,
yeah, I mean, it's Leela. I mean, she's just one of the best companions of all time. And, yeah.
Okay. Phillip?
Like Andrew said, I really love doing Horror Fan Rock. That for me was a defining role in that one. Apart from, of course, Talons of Wayne-Tyang, but that's my favourite one I've heard. And I just didn't like the way they ended her out with the marrying that Time Lord guard. That was a ridiculous way to go out.
I know.
It seemed kind of rushed. It was like, oh yeah, I have no. And it didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, wait a minute, I'm in love with this guy, I'm staying here. Like, wow, that was quick. Did you guys sneak off to the sick bay or something? Wait a minute. Okay, Bill?
Yeah, for me, I really hate when I get stumped on a name, and I want to say that it was the Green. Was it the Green Death? The one with the Rutan in it?
Oh, Horror Fang Rock.
Horror Fang Rock. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know why in the hell I'm thinking Green Death, except that there's a green blobby thing in it. But I actually recently watched that one again about 2 weeks ago. And that's always really been the episode that really comes to my mind when I think Leela.
Yep, it is definitely a great episode. Plus, it was the only episode where we saw the Rutans. So, I'm hoping they make a reappearance.
Yeah, I was going to say, why don't they? If you want to bring back a classic monster, how about them?
Because they don't have any idiots for a clone batch.
Oh, guess who was sitting right here when you said that?
Bill, I know what you're insinuating. Don't make me come down to Florida. I will teach your cats very bad things to do to you.
Yeah, I love that. He's going to be walking through the house one day, and next thing you know, he's getting force choked by his cat. Yeah. Okay, Nightwing, have you had a chance to look in on any episodes with Louise Jameson as Leela yet?
Talons of Wai Shang, whatever how you say it.
Oh,
because the Doctor tries to humanize Leela a little bit more, doesn't he? And takes her to London.
yeah, he's trying to teach her a little bit about her, where she came from, her past. Plus, he's trying to teach her a little bit about being civil. And what I love is the fact that every time he tries to do this, it never quite works.
Yeah, I do like that episode. It's nice. I think that's the only one I've seen of Leela. Maybe her departure episode as well, whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Invasion of Time.
Invasion Time.
Yeah, that one. I might have seen that one as well.
Yeah, where we saw a lot of the TARDIS interior, but due to some difficulties, they had to use a disused hospital near Surrey.
Right.
I think that's what I've seen.
But
wasn't Talons of Wayne Chang originally written for Sarah Jane? Wasn't it supposed to have featured her?
I believe so. Yeah, there were a lot of episodes that were.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I think it's wonderful that they were able to actually take that, adapt it to the new character and have it come out so well.
I think they're the only two episodes I've seen of her.
Wow.
Well, that's a great one, Talons of Wing Chiang. That one stands up to this day. It's really, really well written.
Yeah.
Mm.
We'll forgive them for the rat.
Yeah, that definitely is.
Magnus
I like the
Prime.
Sherlock Holmes references they had in it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Also, we have to remember Leela was responsible for one of the best Tom Baker lines ever written, and that was, "Put it away, Leela. Put it away."
Yeah.
What a way.
Well, she was always pulling out the knife and was going to stab somebody.
Yes.
And
What
plus,
about the scene when she's swimming in the pool?
there we go.
Oh.
That's another thing I had to admire about Louise Jameson. She had to step into this role, and if anything, she had to have been the most, shall we say, exposed companion of that era.
Yes.
And she just took right to it, and that's what I love about it. Well, guys, we've been going on for quite a while now. I think we're going to go ahead and go around and get final thoughts, and we'll bring this session to a close. Okay, Nightwing, any final thoughts, and say goodbye to everybody.
Thank you for Andrew being on the podcast tonight.
Oh, thank you.
Here.
I've
Yeah.
really enjoyed it, so thank you.
Okay, Phil?
Well, me. Yes. Thanks for having me again, and thanks for Andrew for being here. It's been interesting hearing your thoughts on various things. So please come again.
Thank you. I definitely will.
And Phil with a V?
Good Lord Vader. Now they see the power of the dark side.
I face it every day. Good being on a podcast with you again, Phil.
Yeah, it's always great having you on, man.
All right.
Speaking of recordings, do you suppose that we could get you to do a voice on that little thing that we're doing with Eric the Dalek?
Oh,
That's a good point.
let's talk. Let's talk.
Yeah, you see, Andrew's busy as heck. On top of working with the VFX Society and all that, and plus he's working on movie projects. I'm just glad we were able to get him here tonight.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't really expecting that would be plausible, but I'd kick myself in the ass for not trying.
Oh, I'm definitely interested. I got to hear more about it. So,
If anything, I'll give you a small role as like an expendable crewman or something.
the audio equivalent of a red shirt, right?
I was just going to say, I'd send him a red shirt.
There we go. See, actually, right now I told Dr. Freedom. Right now, I'm actually wearing my my Seventh Doctor sweater vest. So that's how big a geek I am.
Oh, I think that we're all geeks. I mean, otherwise we wouldn't be here right now.
Right.
Okay, Ryan, final thoughts and farewell?
Actually, you just saying that, Andrew, reminds me of the first ever podcast I was on. I was actually wearing my Tom Baker scarf. But
Excellent.
yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, thank you for having me. Thanks for being on, Andrew. It's always nice talking.
Yes.
And just remember, if I'm still talking, that means, well, one, I'm awake, and that the future is safe.
Yeah, we keep forgetting that. You see, Ryan is like 14 hours ahead of me, so it's like
That's true. Yes.
It's pretty tomorrow, and as long
You
as
need to warn us of impending doom.
Exactly. Unfortunately, that means he'll be the first one eaten in the zombie apocalypse. So.
It'll take a while.
Okay, Fez?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on, and it's nice to speak to Andrew again. And apologies for not keeping up on the classic series. Like I said, I will get round to it eventually. Just yeah.
No
Yeah,
worries,
and-
man. In your own time. Just be sure to enjoy it.
Yeah, and the next time I'll get be on Skype, hopefully won't be any background noises or Hoover noises going on. Yeah.
I know. I was afraid you got sucked into that thing. We're going to get the airbag.
And Saffron's going to be upset that she missed this one.
Oh, definitely.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Saffron is Ville's daughter, Andrew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's going to be starting interning at Dark Horse Comics, right?
Yeah,
sure.
she got, from what she had said, she got a notice from them in email that she starts the summer interning with them.
Fantastic. That's great.
Look at her.
Yeah.
Internships. This is a tip for anybody who's interested in getting into any kind of line of work, but in particular in the arts. Internships are probably the best thing you can possibly do. That was one thing I would teach my students. I taught for about 2.5 years running the visual effects department at the Academy of Art University in San Francisco. Was I would tell my students that, get an internship, because it gets you into the company. You get to learn about the company's culture. You get to go, around and find things all about, you find out all about the company. And the great thing is that when it comes time to hire, companies are much more likely to hire someone who has been an internship there, who doesn't have to be taught their way of doing things, but they already know the culture and everything there. So it's a wonderful opportunity. Internships are fantastic. So kudos to your daughter there. That's fantastic.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, Ross?
Yeah, it's been a fantastic podcast again, and it's always a pleasure to have Andrew on the show. Especially
it's great
since
to
the
be
Star
here
Wars
with you.
last time. Yeah, no problem. It's been great. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it, and I really hope to see everyone back here next week.
Okay. Well, yeah, next week's going to be Storm Warning. It's going to be the audio review of that Paul McGann's first intro into Big Finish. So
That was great.
Yep. Oh, that's right. You listened to that again today, didn't you?
Yep. Well, last night.
All right. And, of course, last but not least, Andrew.
Well, thank you again for having me, Dr. Freedom. I really enjoy this, and as I think I said the last time I was on the Omega Files was that, I work in the Star Wars universe. Spent 12 years working in the Star Wars universe, but everybody's a fan of something, a geek about something, and for me, it's always been Doctor Who. So it's great to actually jump in here and talk with fellow Whovians about the show that I love so much. So thank you all, and if I can give a shameless plug out there, if you want to find out more about me, you can go to my website candrewnelson.com, and you can also find me on Facebook and Twitter and various other places. So. And if you happen to be in the San Francisco Bay Area anytime soon, I'm going to be at the Big Wow Comic Fest at the San Jose Convention Center on May 17 and 18. So you can come out and
to
make
throw
faces
a
at me.
question to you about Star Wars, and I know that you're not really allowed to say anything, so I wouldn't ask you for anything like what have you read in the script or anything like that, but do you know if they might have an Ewok Sith Lord? Because that would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Yes.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
That would be amazing.
7, so.
No, I'm not involved. You never know. And always in motion is the future, as Yoda says.
Okay, Nightwing, what was that? I'm sorry, I talked over you a bit.
Sorry, I just said that Ewok Sith Lord would be amazing.
Yes.
It would though. Like,
I'm not sure that Endor could survive that kind of deforestation, though.
Yeah.
good point.
Yeah, Ewok Sith Lord goes mad. Starts chopping down trees left and right, Woodsy Owl and Smokey the Bear are furious. Yeah.
Ewok Sith Lord would probably set itself up as a god on that world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we had a great time once again, and from myself, the panel, and the rest of the guys, and myself, the rest of the panel, sorry, I stumbled over myself there a bit. Here at the Omega Files, have a great evening and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Ta-ta.